And welcome back. It has been a long time since you last saw me on camera. We're back with some new equipment, new everything, and also we're gonna welcome back former special guest Atlas Sports. Chandler, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good. I'm excited to have you back again. We're gonna, kind of do the same thing we did last year, except we're not gonna include week one this time. We're gonna do week zero. But first, we're gonna talk about you. I saw your new website that you have, and just kind of give us like a brief summary about that website, and I guess for college football lovers, what it brings to them.
Yeah. So making the website, I spent all off season doing this I had the idea at the end of last season and I had some people kind of request something like this, but obviously I'm not people wouldn't know, but I'm not a coder. I can't code. So obviously with the help of AI, I can actually get things coded and I don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars hiring people to do it for me.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
that made this idea actually come to life. But basically two reasons why I built it. One was because in my comment section all the time, it's people saying, you don't know ball, you don't know this, you don't know this. And I'm like, well, you never tell me what you actually think. But then I also think that college football fans are the smartest they've ever been with all the analytics out there, the access to like power rankings or stuff like that. I think college football fans are smarter than they've ever been. So I was trying to be like, I want to give you a platform where you can like make stuff on your own, or you can have your own opinion or come to your own opinion and actually relay that information. The other part of this, why I did this, was I wanted it for me. Like, it's a good website that I use. I track a lot of my stuff on there. And I will probably be using it. And if the website, I guess, flops at some point, I will still be using it for myself. But basically, there is right now 5 main sections to it. It really was only going to be 2 sections, but people kept requesting more. So the first one is a creator tab.
Okay.
So there is top 25s, CFP, conference rankers. You can make your own tier list, schedule predictors, and like a Heisman ladder. And you can build your own like charts, like offense versus defense, all the schools, stuff like that. Basically, what those are is you can create it. You can give your own top 25 and you can export a clean graphic. You can post that on Twitter. I mean, I've seen people already posting on Twitter getting like, I saw this one guy got over 100,000 views on one of his group of fives top 25 that he used from my website. I've seen another person get like 30 to 40,000 views on Twitter. I've seen people posting on Instagram now. So it's kind of gives you a light to get into the creator world without like making your own graphic, because a lot of people don't know how to do that and stuff. So that's what the creator tab is for. Then the intelligence tab is a peek behind the curtain of power ranking, strength of schedule metrics, your team metrics, all that type of stuff. Most people who have that stuff, they either just give you like a graphic of the top 25. I look at Josh Pate. He just does like the top 25 and doesn't tell you anything else.
Yeah.
Or you look at ESPN and it'll just be like, oh, here's offense, here's defense, here's overall good luck. And nothing like comes to fruition. I try to make it so it's more accessible to the regular Joe college football fan, but
Hmm.
still like high level and good. Now, obviously, the power ranking is probably, I mean, I'm competing against people who are like software engineers and mathematicians. Like,
Yeah.
it's still at its earliest stages. Like, you're going to hate this, but like, it has Auburn ranked 25th, and I think that's way too high for Auburn
It
as
is,
a
it
power
definitely
ranking.
is way too high. Like
But then
especially with new coach and everything.
yeah, because I tried to create my own formula, and then I had like AI go back into like the past and like see how it would do against the spread. I don't want it to be a betting model. I just want it to be something that people can use. That's why on my website everything is it's like scaled up to be like an NCAA rating, basically, like in the video game. Like
Yeah.
Ohio State's like a 97.5, Texas is like a 95 point something. So it's like all like scaled up or down potentially on where you are. So it's not a betting model, but it is supposed to, if you want it to be as good as possible, you're supposed to probably have it as close to a betting model as possible.
Hmm.
And every time I try to steer away from stuff I didn't like, it always just kept reminding me, like, hey, like you're getting way farther from like predicting games right or going against the spread right. Like this is literally just your opinion. And I was like, okay, I guess we'll do this and we can like see during the year how it develops and stuff like that. But at least it's a peek behind the curtain of people can see. But it also tells you like strength of schedule metrics. Uh, it's built into it, but when the games start playing, there's its own like playoff metric where it's like a resume
Yeah.
thing, like so you can see that. But that's basically the intel, and you can select teams, and it has a little like write up about like the strengths and weaknesses. It's all opinion based for the most part. I made some of it. I haven't searched the web for some of it, so it just
Yeah.
depends on that. The next section is the I'll go to the community section. So when you make your top 25 and you make your CFP bracket, you can submit it to the community. It's like an AP poll or a CFP ballot. It's just kind of fun. I think we have like 115, 120 AP ballots, or not AP, but community
Like, yeah,
ballots,
community ballots.
and like 40 to 50 CFP ones. And then also there is a pick 'em on it. People just wanted it. I don't know if many people will use it, but
They might.
if
I
you,
don't know. A lot of people like the fantasy one. Like a lot of people
yeah,
really like ESPN fantasies pick them.
yeah. So it is a pick 'em. There is a leaderboard. It'll track like if you're in a group, it'll track that, but it'll also track like an overall leaderboard and stuff like that. So I think it'd be kind of fun because there's probably not going to be. It's not like ESPN where there's millions of people in it. So like you can get on the leaderboard probably pretty easily. So it'll be kind
Yeah.
of fun to see that. And then the final section, which I didn't really want or like, but everyone loves it, and I would say it's probably potentially one of the biggest ones, is there's just a game section. So there's a couple games. One is build the perfect team. So you get, it's all by chance. So you get three conferences, you pick a conference, and then you get 4 teams from that conference, you pick the team, and then that's the player you get. So it's
Okay.
all kind of randomized a bit. You
Yeah.
go through coaching, all the offensive teams, and then you go for like O line and then defense, basically like a fantasy team. And then if you go undefeated and win the national championship, you get to play 2019 LSU. And
Oh,
fun fact, just the other day, someone sent me, we had our first person who went undefeated and beat LSU.
wow.
I think like programmed into it, it's like if you get like a really good team, like above a threshold, it's like a 1 in 30 chance you'll beat LSU or 2019 LSU. So like it's still hard. And it's a random roll of the dice for a lot of this.
Yeah.
It's just the best way to build it. But yeah, that's one game. The other game is a career mode. You can pick what star you are. Then you go pick what team you want to be. It only gives you a selection of like, I think like 10 to 15 teams, but it's all like kind of random. Like you get some good teams, some bad teams. You can go places depending on where you go or what you have and how many stats you get. You get to go up or down. In the off season, you get to do some training where you can like go again up or down ratings
Okay.
and build that. People love that. And the final game is you only play it once a day, and it's a golf game. Is how I kind of have it, but it's like guess the team off of these ratings. So I
Oh,
give you
okay.
the quarterback rating, the coach rating, the defense rating, the S&P plus, like where they're ranked, but it's like kind of generalized, like top 10, top 25, top 40, just outside top 40, stuff like that. And then there is a color of the school, and then the conference of the school. And all those are kind of randomized on what order you get them. And then, yeah, you get to see like if you get like 3 questions in, that's when you hit about even, and then you start going over par and then under par. So
Okay. Yeah.
and then there's a leaderboard for all that stuff. So those are the 4 main sections, and then the 5th section, which I have to test this weekend because I don't know if it's going to work or not. It's all the infrastructure's built, but I mean I just never done this before, so we'll see. But it's a live section, so live game scores.
Hmm.
It's supposed to update win probability on the game. It's supposed to update live CFP implications, conference implications. Basically anything how you want to see everything move live is what you would use that for. Obviously, I didn't want to do this because I wasn't going to compete with like ESPN or Real or stuff like that. But
Yeah.
people requested it, and I was like, I gotta get my own little twist on it. So it's big on like you can see during the game how much your team has risen or gone down in playoff implications. Even your power rating will update live and stuff like that. It'll be like, oh, Michigan has moved 0.5 points up on his power rating throughout this whole game or something like that. So
Yeah.
those are all
But
the 5 sections. It's kind of confusing to talk through, but it's
yeah.
decently simple. And I think people love it. But again, if they don't love it, I don't really care because I'm going to use it myself. So
I got you. But yeah, guys, you heard it there from Atlas. Go check out his website. It's in your bio, right, on Instagram.
yeah, it's on my yeah, it wasn't in my bio for the longest time. But then someone was like, I can't find your website. I was like, let me just put it in my bio.
But yeah, go check it out on his bio on Instagram. It's a great website. I've used it. It definitely works. But yeah, now that we talked about a little bit about you, Atlas, we're gonna move to what is happening this weekend. And for the longest time, we've been waiting to say this, and college football is finally back. It's just going to be so great this weekend. Some week zero games. And the first game on our slate for the weekend is obviously the game in Dublin, Ireland, between the University of North Carolina Tar Heels and the TCU Horned Frogs. Both teams met last year on Labor Day weekend. This was just it was a bad game for North Carolina. It honestly looked like a really good start in the first 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden North Carolina just went all over the place, and TCU just blew them out. Josh Hoover played really good in that game. But last year, North Carolina finished 4-8, 2-6 in ACC play, and then TCU finished 9-4, and they were 5-4 in Big 12 play. But this game should be I think it's gonna be an interesting game. North Carolina's got some key players returning, like Jordan Shipp, and on the defensive side they have let's see here. The defensive side they have Jaden Patterson, who had 34 tackles and 5 PBUs and an interception last year, and also Caleb Cost ranks fifth in the team in tackles, along with Isaiah Johnson, who's on the defensive line with 41 tackles and 2 sacks, and they're bringing in Billy Edwards Jr. from Wisconsin. But I just want to get your insight on this game. What you think is going to happen between North Carolina and TCU this weekend?
I mean, I could be very wrong, but I think it's going to be somewhat of a rerun of last year.
Hmm.
Obviously, they don't have Josh Hoover who can sling it, but Jaden Craig, I think he's Harvard transfer. He's gonna be great. He was great in the FCS level or Ivy League, but I think he'll be great here in the Big 12 for the most part. Maybe not as good as Josh Hoover, but he'll be really good. And then I'm out on UNC. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if you heard Bill Belichick's son, who's the defense coordinator, stepped away for a
Hmm.
bit. So
And then
like,
the
are they
president
really?
or something happened with that.
Yeah, like, are they really that checked in? I don't know. I just feel like they got uh Bill Belichick is their coach. I just don't know how much they're really like locked in and checked
Hmm.
in. I just feel like it's kind of just a fever dream for a lot of these people. And I'd been different if they got a better QB personally. I just not a fan of Billy Edwards. I think he's fine, but I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to go wield you victories in the ACC for the most part.
Hmm.
So I think for the most part, I'm heavy on TCU. I think Sonny Dyke is a great coach. Obviously, traveling that way, a lot of things could happen.
For both
Players,
teams it could.
yeah,
Yeah.
players don't play well, jet lagged, all this stuff. So you never know. And that Dublin game, it always just gets crazy. It sometimes
Hmm.
starts raining in it, so
Yeah.
you never know. But I think if you look team for team, I think TCU is just way better.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I feel like the only thing for me is, I mean, I did watch back on Jaden Craig's tape. He has a lot of good plays at Harvard. And this TCU team is bringing in a lot of good talent out of the portal and in recruiting. The only thing that kind of, stands out to me is that the defense, TCU last year was ranked last in the defense, like passing defense in the Big 12. And that's one thing that I know Sonny Dyke said he wanted to fix. He said that in spring ball so far and summer practice, they've looked pretty efficient in covering the pass, but he said he just, it's going to take some time. But no, going back to the North Carolina side of things too, like you said, Billy Edwards last year, he only threw 113 yards and had a season-ending knee injury. But he is bringing in one of his key targets, Trech Kakiahuna from Wisconsin. He caught 26 passes for 211 yards, and he rushed 14 times for 129 yards. And then also a transfer coming in on defense for North Carolina is Peyton Seelman from Richmond, who was first all-team conference honors and led Richmond to 120 total tackles and 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. But no, I definitely agree with you with the Belichick thing. Like, I don't know if he is this could just all be a publicity stunt and trying to get back in the NFL, and it might not work. Um, but Billy Edwards' quarterback play kind of does fit his system, I feel like. I feel like that could fit his system, but you just never know. But that was my next question is like how you felt Bill Belichick would do. But since you already answered it, yeah, we'll go to the next one. And this is about Sonny Dykes or just TCU in general. Is TCU a dark horse for the Big 12 this upcoming season, considering they've been kind of in the mix the past few years?
Yeah, it's hard for me to like really just coin a dark horse because I feel
Hmm.
like minus your top teams, everyone has a shot to be good. I think Sonny Dykes is a great coach. I just think sometimes being like the third or fourth best team in Texas, you just kind of get leftover talent. So that's like a little different than like let's say Arizona, who gets like the best of their guys in Arizona, where TCU is getting behind Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Texas, maybe Houston. There's other schools, so
Yeah.
they could be a dark horse. I think the big thing is seeing how Jaden Craig translates to the Big 12. He has the highest PFF score in the Big 12 from last year,
Hmm.
but that's at Harvard. So, like,
Yeah.
will that translate over to the Big 12 and FBS? It's anybody's guess. I like how he looks on tape, but again, like, I'm the same way with Drew Mestamaker at North Texas. He went to Oklahoma State, followed his coach. Like, he did all that in the group of five. That's great. Now, can you
Yeah.
do that in the Big 12? Because not everyone can. Some people
Hmm.
can. So I think it just depends. I think they could be in the contention of dark horse teams, but if you want to be a dark horse team, you got to at least knock off one of TCU, BYU, Utah. Like those teams are kind of running the conference for sure. BYU and Tech or BYU and Tech,
Yeah.
they're for sure going to be 1-2 most of the year, unless one of those teams fall. But you got to beat one of those teams to get in.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I definitely feel like TCU, like you said, does get the leftover talent. Like they've been a good team. In Sonny Dykes' first season when he came there, they went to the national title, and obviously we know got blown out by Georgia 65-7. But he's only had one losing season since being at TCU. So I really do have a lot of hope for Sonny Dykes. The only thing is like, you just like you said, you never know about Jaden Craig, but and also losing Josh Hoover to Indiana, that's a big blow for them. But according to Yahoo Sports, the TCU has the sixth best odds at plus um, 1,700, and they're sixth. So you never know. Like you never know what's going to happen because obviously Texas Tech has the best odds, and then BYU's next, Utah, Houston, Kansas State before them. But now that we covered the week zero game, we will move over to a conference game. This should be honestly this should be a decent matchup between NC State and Virginia. Last season, as we know, Virginia had the chance to make the college football playoff and lost to an 8-5 Duke team in the ACC championship. And NC State is hoping to ride off of a pretty good season last year at 8-5 with returning quarterback CJ Bailey. But the first thing I want to talk about, coming into this game is Bo Perbila. He was just named the quarterback, I believe, last week for Virginia. They have Bo Perbila and Eli Holstein. Both started at their schools last year, but Bo Perbila last year threw for 1,941 yards, 11 TDs, and 9 interceptions. But Chandler, I just want to ask you, what are your thoughts on Bo Perbila becoming the starter here at Virginia?
I was honestly pretty upset when I heard both of those guys transfer to Virginia because I thought both of those guys are power four level starting quarterbacks. I honestly, from my watching tape and evaluating these two guys, I personally like Eli Holstein better. Now, what I will say is I'm not there at practice every day, so obviously Bo Pebrula probably has performed better.
Hmm.
But I just think that is so well with like if Bo Pebrula is not doing well, like Eli Holstein can come in and take over the reins. And like the biggest fault or downfall of Bo Pebrula is his throwing, his mechanics, his accuracy, stuff like that. Where that is where Eli Holstein thrives. So now you don't want to play a little dual quarterback because then both quarterbacks are competing. You split the rocks or roster or locker room stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I think it's at least a nice safety blanket. And I think Virginia is coined for another, maybe not like last year, but very phenomenal year.
Yeah, I mean, and the Cavaliers have had before last year they've been horrible. Last year Tony Elliott basically saved his job. Like, I mean, we could say that.
Yeah.
That was Chandler Morris was the fit for that offense. But I mean, I do think Bo Perbila is good. He can run, he can use his legs, he can also pass. But like you said, safety blanket Eli Holstein, he proved it at Pitt last year. But that also lingers the question if the season's over, Eli Holstein might transfer because Bo Perbila still has some eligibility left, and Holstein wants to start now. And I think that's what he was expecting in Virginia, and Virginia might have made that mistake by offering both the quarterbacks. But yeah, I think this will be a really good game between Virginia and NC State. It's a conference game, week zero. I mean, nothing better than that. Like week zero game, you're already starting ACC play between those two teams. But going to the Wolfpack side of things, um, so CJ Bailey, this guy I think could have a breakout year as their quarterback. He's recorded 3,105 passing yards and 25 touchdown passes with 9 interceptions last year. And opening a conference game first week will be very good for him to get experience and show what he's made of and capable of. But I just wanted to get your take on CJ Bailey and what you think he can do this upcoming season.
I wish he was on a better team.
Hmm.
Um, I really think this kid could be special and could be first round picks type of hype.
Yeah,
He is so quick, so mobile, yet he can sling the rock.
yeah,
The the biggest fault I have for him is he's very turnover prone, but I don't know how much of that is like him trying to force things because his wide receivers aren't open and he's just
hmm,
trying to get the ball out and get it into the pocket of the receiver, or if he is just kind of careless with the ball. So that is my big question mark with him. I do think he's phenomenal. I know NC State is a lot of people's like dark horse to like make the playoffs or just do really good in the ACC, which I understand that, but like CJ Bailey's gonna have to like put the team on his damn back for that to happen in my
yeah.
eyes.
He's
Like
gonna have to lock in. Yeah.
for them to go like 10 wins, I will say they have a very, very, very easy schedule. But for them to go like 10, 11 wins, like he's going to have to backpack this team. Like last year, he was good, but like when they needed surefire yards, they just handed off to Hollywood Smothers and he got them first down. He's off to Texas now.
Yeah.
So they have some guys, but like, and I don't think their defense is going to be that great this year. So they do have an easy schedule. I think Dave Doran is a pretty good coach, and I do like the upside of CJ Bailey. But if he starts throwing 1-for-1 touchdown to pick to touchdown ratio, it's just not gonna. I don't think end up well for NC State. I don't think they're gonna be like non-bowl game bad, but like 7-5.
Yeah. I definitely think like one thing that is good for them is, like I said, playing against a team like Virginia. And also last year, he didn't turn the ball over as much as he did his first season. His first season, I think he threw 12 interceptions. It was about 12, I believe. Um, but yeah, I mean, CJ Bailey, I think has the potential. Like you said, he is going to have to carry the team on his back though. But they do have an easy schedule compared to North Carolina's schedule. It's better because North Carolina plays like every good ACC program in that conference. So, and they play them like 3 straight weeks in a row.
Yeah,
But
you
what were you
ready? You
saying?
want to hear this? You want to hear the schedule?
Yeah,
So Virginia's tough. Richmond should be an easy W. Vanderbilt, after them not starting the true freshman, I think that's probably a win. App
that's
State,
insane.
App State, that's a win. Louisville could be a tough game. They get at home though. Wake Forest, I would hope that's a win. Stanford should be a win. Cal, that could be a tough team, but they get them at home. Cal's to go across country. Duke should be a win. Syracuse, I would think should be a win. Florida State, I like North Carolina State better than Florida State, and then UNC. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's almost like 9. I think for sure wins.
Yeah.
Obviously they could fall apart at some point or get upset, but I think the floor this team should have is like 8, 8 wins.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. It's either going to be a repeat of last season, 8-4, maybe 9-4 if they win a bowl game, or you never know, maybe a 10-2 season. The Wolfpack have had success in the past few years, so I mean, just got to see what happens. But that Virginia game is going to be a good game. That one is 2:30 on ESPN, so y'all tune in to watch a pretty big game for Week Zero to decide who gets the first ACC win of the year. But now we're going to move over to our other week zero games. We're not going to, spend too much time on these because these are kind of cupcakes versus, some big power four teams, or it's just cupcakes versus cupcakes. Nobody really wants to hear about that. But Hawaii and Stanford's the first one. Stanford was a 3.5 point favorite before, I think, Monday, and then they moved to a 4. They're now a 4 point favorite against Hawaii. But we remember this game last year. Hawaii got a game-winning field goal against Stanford, and this is a Hawaii team that I think could possibly be a group of five team in the college football playoff if everything works out how it's supposed to. Because Miami last year won that bowl game against Cal to end the season 35-31. Um, and I think the thing for Stanford in this game is just look consistent. They're bringing in another new coach. This is like the fifth season in a row, maybe sixth season in a row that this has happened. But got to look a little bit better than last season when they started. They looked piss poor last year when they played that Hawaii game. And just really interested to see if Stanford keep up with a pretty good Hawaii team. But I just want to know your thoughts about this game really quick.
Yeah, for me, it's a hard game to read. Obviously, at the Power Four level, like Stanford's caliber of player is better. And you also have to think they're such a high level program that some like four stars go there just to get an education. So like they sometimes get a higher quality of athlete than they should get because of that. But at the same time, that program is a mess. Andrew Luck is like trying to run it. He is
Yeah.
hiring like I did a deep dive into like their coaches one time, and he's like hiring his like old buddies, like people he played college with. Like I think he even has like a kid he played high school with. Like he's just hiring his buddies. So I think that program's a mess. I think Hawaii's on the up. They have the quarterback Micah, starts with an A.
It's like I
Uh,
think it's Micah Allen it's like Jado or something.
yeah,
It's a weird
it's
name.
something more than I can pronounce at the
Yeah.
time. Uh, but he went down last year with the injury. But before he went down, he was slinging the rock, and
hmm
they were zooming. So as long as he can stay healthy, they have some good wide receivers. They're more of a put up 40, let you score 30 on us type of team. But I don't know. I think I would root for the underdogs in this game, Hawaii, because I think it's a
Yeah.
better story than piss poor Stanford doing nothing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I have Hawaii win this game, but I could see it go either way.
Yeah, I mean I like that too. I think, Stanford they get their 3 wins usually a year. They'll sneak a conference game in and then they'll win two nobody games. So it's not going to be anything much, but yeah, Stanford and Hawaii. I think that game's a 6 o'clock game, 6 o'clock Central Time. It's 7 o'clock Eastern Time on ACC Network. I know people might watch that just because football, but the next game we're not going to spend too much time on this one. It's USC versus San Jose State. The only thing here is USC not looking to show much, but Lincoln Riley entering a crucial year in his tenure at USC. For me, I think, in my opinion, could possibly be a college football playoff appearance if the right things happen at USC. But Chandler, I just want to know your thought here on what the Trojans might look like throughout the next few years or the next this year. Sorry.
Yeah, obviously, like you said, this game, they either will sit their players early or they won't show packages that they're going to show against like Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana. So this game really doesn't matter much, but they have to knock off one of Ohio State, Oregon, or Indiana to probably make the playoffs. I don't know if going 9-3 is really good enough to make the playoffs, especially if you didn't knock off one of those great teams.
hmm
So they got to be one of those teams, but then they don't have an easy schedule after that. They play like Washington, UCLA at the end of the year could be a tricky game if they're hitting on all cylinders. They go play the whiteout at Penn State. Like they have a very tough road, but I fear that if they don't beat one of those top three teams,
hmm
they are going to not get the credit that they deserve about having these other hard games, and they're not
Yeah.
going to make the playoffs. So I don't know. I've been very. They are my team on the edge of the playoffs. Every time I do my playoffs, like redo it, I'm just like, I want to put them in. I think their team is the quality to be in the playoffs, but I
hmm
just don't know if they can knock off Indiana, Oregon, or Ohio State to make it. And like they get, I think the two hardest ones at home, like Oregon and Ohio State, like those are for sure teams that I think are going to hit. Indiana, I think is going to be good, but like obviously with all the transfers coming in, Hoover, all that stuff, you don't really know. But getting them like the hardest ones at home, like you would wish to maybe get Indiana at home or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very on the fence. I can be convinced either way. I want to see them make the playoffs. I think they're a good team, but if I had to if I had to pick right now, I say they probably just miss it.
They have yeah, their schedule is very tough. I think there's one week or there's like 3 weeks in a row where they play like three straight top tier Big Ten teams, and it's like I think it's home away home. They play those three. It might be like
Yeah, you have
Ohio
to realize
State.
every time they travel, it is a lot longer for them than some other schools sometimes. So
Yeah, they have the most traveled miles, I think, from them, and Rutgers both have the most by any Division I team, I think. But going to our next game, it's gonna be Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan. This game, not gonna talk much about it either. Sacramento State, the only big storyline here, their first conference game and also their first FBS game, which could be a stepping stone for the program, and which this is good for them and North Dakota State both because both teams are bowl eligible due to the new rules that the NCAA made this offseason. But yeah, just first year starting out in FBS. But yeah, I think this could be a good game. Eastern Michigan's a tough opponent though, but I just want to know your thoughts on Sacramento State entering their first FBS game.
yeah, they fully just paid their way in. I think they had to give a lot of money up to join the MAC.
Yeah,
Which, if they believe in themselves, good. But they just gotta prove it. Not even on the football field, but financially, they can keep doing this. I like their coach, Coach Zoe. He's been around a lot as a position coach, but he's not working with too much at Sacramento State this year. They kind of replenished everything, and they're kind of working with a kind of makeshift roster. But
hmm
we'll see. I do like EMU this year. I actually think they're a dark horse to win the MAC. A lot of people are low on them, but I like them. They return. I think it's Noah Kim, Noah something, their
yeah,
quarterback. And I think he's been around the group of five for a bit, and he was at Eastern Michigan last year, didn't do too bad, and I think he'll be good again. So I think they could win 7, 8, 9 games, maybe go to the MAC championship. We'll see.
I got you. Yeah, I think it'll be a good game between two MAC teams in the first game of the season. Get another conference game. That seems to be a lot of them so far in week 0. But going to our next game now, we're gonna go to New Mexico State and Florida State. This one's not a big one either. We're not gonna touch much on this one. I think the big storyline for this is obviously, I mean, Florida State fans are already pissed. Like Mike Norvell is, my opinion, I think he's done. He's probably the first coach fired by the end, like to start the season. But I think Florida State fans are not even going to be. They're not even going to be happy that this game's happening. They're probably just going to be like, "Oh, it's football. Uh, hopefully Norville gets fired. Like, hopefully we lose and he gets fired." But I just want to know your take on Mike Norville and what you think's going to happen with him during the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably should have been fired already. I think his biggest flaw is he cannot evaluate the quarterback position. He has Ashton Daniels this year. We'll see if that is anything, but I one time saw he has had like 20 or 25 quarterbacks in his time at Florida State, and every single one but Jordan Travis has been like a bust, not only for him, but for all of college football. Like they don't ever do good, which shows that he just cannot evaluate the quarterbacks or whoever's doing his evaluation process. So I think he hits the can, or if he doesn't, he has blackmail on Florida State, or Florida State can't pay for it. One of the three things.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you with Ashton Daniels. I mean, he was good at Auburn like he was all right at Auburn last year. Had some good games, had some bad games, but I definitely think like it just comes down to can he win? Can he beat the teams like Stanford, Wake Forest? I think if they go 7-5, 8-4, they'll keep Norville. Like I think that's probably the ceiling. The floor is definitely like 2-10. Like another 2-10 season would be awful for Florida State. But yeah, Florida State should win that game. I think that's on ESPNU at 6:30. Oh no, CW Network 6:30. I forgot the ACC does that now. But our next game coming up is another first FBS team. It is Jacksonville State traveling all the way from Alabama to play North Dakota State. Really interested to see how the Bison perform their first year in the FBS. Pretty good team in Jacksonville State. I was there in the summer watching some practice in Jacksonville State. Charles Kelly's their head coach. He's a great coach. I think Jacksonville State, coming off of a conference championship appearance, pretty good team. They lost to Kennesaw State in the CUSA championship. But I also do think North Dakota State is out to prove that they are, not just your ordinary first year FBS team. And in the Mountain West Conference, I think this Bison team could possibly, if things go the right way, could make the college football playoff if everything lines up. But Chandler, I just want to know what your thoughts are on this 4:30 game in North Dakota.
Yeah, so I haven't officially announced it yet, but I will be on the sidelines for that game, heading up in 2 days, and I'll get facilities tour the day before, and then I'll get field access the day of, and shoot some content around there, which I think will be super fun. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think I've heard that North Dakota State environment is like insane because you're in a dome. They can really like trap in all the sound and stuff. So I've heard it gets really loud in there. But Jacksonville State, they came off a great year. The only thing that scares me with them is Cam Cook was like 50% of their team, and he went
Hmm.
off to the FBS or the Power 5 or 4 level now.
Yeah.
Because he was really good. So can they replace that? Or can they just find other ways to win games? I think either way, it'll be a good game. I think the line's like at like 4.5 or something, so it should be
It's
a good game
close.
for
It's
the
very
last one.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a fun game. I'm just excited for the environment, and I hope I get a good game. I would hope it doesn't blow out one way or the other.
Hey, you never know. I mean, North Dakota State, they blew out a lot of teams in FCS when they were there, so you never know what to expect, but I think it's gonna be exciting to see the Bison finally. I've been waiting for this for a long time to see them finally jump up to the FBS level. But the last game on our college football slate, sadly, we'll have more week one, but is Memphis and UNLV. I think this is a excellent matchup between two group of six teams. Memphis looking to prove something under Charles Huff, his first year at the school. He moved schools three times actually, two times in the past few years. He moved from Marshall to Southern Miss and then Southern Miss now to Memphis. He's a great coach. I really like him. He speaks well. When you look at a coach, you're like, well, does this guy know what he's talking about? I think you look at Charles Huff and you're like, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. I think he's got some great playmakers on Memphis. Really looking forward to see how the Tigers do against UNLV. Now on their side, they bring in Jackson Arnold. I don't think anybody wants to remember that name ever again. But didn't really show much last year at Auburn. But can Dan Mullen, make him at least a decent quarterback in a matchup between two possible playoff contenders?
Yeah, I think this game has way more implications than people might think.
Hmm.
I think this could be potentially the top of the American Conference, and this could be the top of the Mountain West Conference. And the winner of this game might decide maybe not who goes to the playoff, maybe what conference has an upper hand or something like that. Like if Memphis beats UNLV, UNLV runs the table of the Mountain West, but like Memphis is third in their conference. Like the Americans probably going to get the step above the Mountain West. I think the Mountain West actually has a real shot to make the playoffs this year.
They have a good bunch
I
of
know
good teams.
everyone's going to say Pac-12, but I do think the Pac-12 has a good chance. But I think the Mountain West is right up there too. Mountain West, American, and Big 12 or Pac-12. I think they're the three conferences in the races,
Hmm.
and you have two of some of the best teams in them. I think this game's going to mean a lot. Um, I don't know. Anthony Calandria, he was at Virginia, didn't do very good. Went to UNLV, balled out, is now back at the power level at Nebraska. Jackson Arnold didn't do very good.
No.
Going to UNLV. They also have, I think, Alex Orji. They have another guy too.
Yeah, they do. But Alex
Michigan.
Orji's not that Dan Mullen, I think, hasn't made the decision, but I think it's gonna be Jackson Arnold that starts.
I think so too. But I just say like either Dan Mullen's a pretty good quarterback coach, or just dropping down to that level just kind of fares you well. So I could see some of those quarterbacks perform well. But Charles Huff, I think he'll be the next 3 to 5. Actually, could even be this year, but he will get a power level job in the next couple of years. I think he's,
Yeah.
I would say, top 5 on the list of group of 5 coaches that will probably get one. So I think he's a great coach, even though he's jumped around a bunch. So I think Memphis ends up winning this game. Uh, I just don't know if I believe in the quarterbacks of UNLV.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, you just never know. I mean, especially due to the track record.
I think it'll be a good game, though. I think it'll be a really good game. Obviously, I think both teams will be at the top of their conference, like top 3.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a great game.
Yeah, it's the latest game on the slate. It's a 9 p.m. well, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern game that is, just very late at night, but it's in Vegas, so should be a fun time for both the teams. I think Memphis, like you said, I think Memphis got a really good team. But yeah, I'm gonna lean Memphis in that one as well. But now we will move to I think the segment we did this last year, but I have an updated graphic and everything. I'll put it up on the screen. But me and Atlas did predict our conference championship winners for 2026-2027 season. Atlas, you had Jacksonville State winning in the Conference USA, Miami of Ohio in the MAC, Boise State in the Pac-12, New Mexico in Conference USA, Louisiana in the Sun Belt, Navy in the American, Miami in the ACC, Texas in the SEC, or no, Texas Tech in the Big 12, sorry, and then Oregon in the Big 10 and Georgia in the SEC. And then I had Jacksonville State. So we agreed on that one with with Jacksonville State, and then Sacramento State in the MAC, and then Boise State in the Pac-12, North Dakota out of the Mountain West, or yeah, North Dakota State out of the Mountain West, and then James Madison out of the Sun Belt, Memphis out of the American. I had Miami as well as you did, and then I have BYU winning the Big 12, Oregon also winning the Big 10, and then Texas winning the SEC. But the ones we disagreed on was, I mean, the MAC. We did also disagree on the Mountain West. We also disagreed on it's like the Big 12 and the SEC and the Sun Belt. But I think the SEC one could go either way. I mean, Georgia and Texas, I think now kind of run that conference because Alabama, people can say what they want to say, but I just don't see the Tide being, as I'm not gonna say bad, but I'm gonna say like as good as they've been in the past. Like I say 9-3 season, maybe 8-4 if they're lucky.
Uh, yeah. First of all, I was gonna say the group of five is it's almost impossible. The amount of transfers that come in and out and coaching changes,
Yeah,
like you can kind of get a realm of maybe who's going to be a top and bottom, but you really don't know for sure. So any disagreement on those is kind of like, whatever. Like
yeah,
we can evaluate halfway through the season what they're looking like. Um, I think Miami is head and shoulders above the ACC. Now, they were last year, and Mario Cristobal still didn't win the conference. Didn't even make it to the conference championship game. So
no,
we will see. They might stump up a little bit. Um, Texas Tech, I have winning the Big 12, you have BYU. I think it is those two teams. My biggest thing I always go back to is before Sorsby even got rumored to go to Texas Tech,
yeah,
I was just excited for Will Hammond to replace Brendan Morton because I thought Will Hammond was just going to be better than Brendan Morton. So
yeah,
they still got a lot of defensive talent. They still got a lot of offensive weapons, great wide receiver room, great running back room. I think Will Hammond will be fine. Now he's coming off injury, so we'll see. So I honestly like Texas Tech potentially better this year than I did last year.
yeah,
Therefore, I think they're going to win. But BYU, I think, is the clear second favorite. Their talent isn't as high level as some of these other teams,
hmm
but they just play so old. Like they're so old players because a lot of them go on missions, but they're just so experienced. They know what to do. They play for each other. They're like brothers. Like they don't give up on each other, and it pans out. I forever have been hating on BYU because I'm always just lower on them than what they end up doing. So
yeah,
I realized that them winning wouldn't be a big shock. Oregon winning, I think it's Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State. I mean,
yeah,
you pick whichever one you want. There's good cases for all of them. And then I just picked Georgia because I thought the last 2 years Georgia was not the most talented team in the SEC, and they just keep winning. I think Kirby Smart is a great coach, but then they prove when they get to the playoffs they have just ran out of steam and they're one and dones. Where Ole Miss went farther than them. Ole Miss even beat them in the
yeah,
playoffs. So I give the Georgia just because I feel like they're just a machine. But I will say the other day I was studying deeper into Oklahoma's roster. I think they're actually going to be pretty good this year. Like
yeah.
contend for
I
the SEC,
agree.
like contend for the SEC title game. Good. Now they have a really tough schedule, so they got to fare through that. But I think their biggest issue last year
hmm
was running back and offensive line, and I think they not only addressed it, but they just kept guys to get better and better. So as long as they develop, I think it could be. It's crazy to say. I think offense might be their stronger suit this year than defense under Brent Venables, which is insane to say.
Yeah,
So I think they could be really good this year. So they're my dark horse pick for the SEC.
yeah. No, I definitely like. I will say Georgia too. Like you can't really pick against them. They're always there. Like I think they'll always be there as long as Kirby Smart is the coach. Even if he has like a mediocre quarterback under center, like he's still gonna find a way to win games. But
And like,
yeah, I
let's be
mean,
real. Texas, like 2 years ago when they were in the conference championship game, they threw it. Like I don't know what they were doing. Like Carson Beck goes out and they end up losing the game. Like, come
yeah.
on.
Well, it's gonna
Like
have to be what is it? It's gonna have to be Texas's year because they have the talent. Like this is probably the most talented Texas team we've seen in the past like I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years because adding Cam Coleman, who yes has some like bad drops, but also can be, good at the wide receiver position. And then this kind of has to be Arch Manning's year because he's going to get drafted next year. Like let's just face it, he's not going to turn down that offer unless
Yeah,
Texas.
he'll get drafted no matter. Even if he's bad, he'll get drafted.
Yeah, he probably will just because his name. But no, that is going to do it for the college football side of things. I appreciate you coming on here today, talking a little bit of all. I'm excited for this weekend. It's going to be, a great weekend, first weekend back that we get to see college football again. We've been waiting so long for this to happen. We've been just sitting on our phones, doom scrolling and wondering like, when is it going to be back? And then finally Saturday at 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern, we will have college football back. But anything you want to say to the viewers or the fans, Chandler?
No, just thanks for watching. Ready to have football back. We can stop winning in the off season and start winning during the season.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Chandler, yes, just left. That was a great way to start off the episode. Great way to start back after being gone so long, talking about some college football. Now we're going to shift our focus. Uh, we're going to keep it on football, but we're going to shift our focus to the pro side of football. We're going to talk a little bit about the last week of NFL preseason and also, what to expect, some last minute quarterback battles, player position battles, and also just headlines in general. The first one up today, we don't have many, but the first one up today is the Texans and Panthers coming off their joint practice. I saw this on Twitter literally minutes before we started recording, but Bryce Young did not look good through two interceptions against a pretty good Texans defense, and the Texans were able to move the ball pretty quickly against the Panthers defense. And things for that, like you can't really base it off preseason or just practice in general. I mean, the Texans, I'm just going to say here, probably I ranked the best defenses to start the season. The Texans have the best defense to start the 2026-2027 NFL season. I really love this defense. Will Anderson is a great defensive player on this team. They sadly did trade Jalen Reed to the Patriots, but that does suck, but I still think this defense is still good even without him. Derek Stingley in the corner or like back there in the backfield, in the secondary, I really like him there. But this Texans offense, that is good to hear that they, you know, are they're starting to gel well. The past few preseason games they've looked all right, but they haven't looked top tier. And this is good for C.J. Stroud and the guys to get get a little bit excited before they take a week off and then everybody plays the 13th. Like most of the teams play the 13th. There's the Wednesday game, Seattle and New England. That's the Wednesday kickoff, and then Thursday, I believe there's a game too. That might be the Melbourne game between the 49ers and the Rams, and then the Brazil game's Friday, and then you have the obvious rest of the schedule Saturday, or not Saturday, Sunday and Monday. But yeah, I think you can't really take much off this for Bryce Young. But I do want y'all to listen really quick to Dave Canales talking about Bryce Young here, and what he expects for the upcoming 2026 season.
His lead there. The rest of it has just been getting him really comfortable with this system and making this system his. That's what we've really been working on the last 1.5 seasons is just, we have all these concepts, we have all these schemes, but I want to make sure that this fits what he does well and what he wants to hear coming over the radio wave.
And yeah, I really like what Dave said there, talking about just how Bryce is our guy. He wants the contract now. He seems to have a lot of confidence in him, even though these preseason games, the Bills game didn't really go as planned. But Bryce hasn't really had any bad practices or anything, to be honest, except today. Today was probably his worst practice I think he's had all preseason. So I think that's something like you can look at and be like, okay, it's a little bit worrisome, but it's not. But I'll say for now, I think if you're a Panthers fan, if you're worried, I think you should be a little worried, but not too much. I think it's just taking it out of context because Panthers fans overreact so much, and it's honestly annoying. Like it's very annoying. But yeah, I think that you could possibly see um, you know, the Panthers still be NFC South contenders throughout the season. And the Texans, for them, I think it's really going to be good. Just going in the season, they're obviously AFC South like contenders as well. They're just trying to get things going, look a lot better than last year. Especially with Nico Collins and Tank Dell hopefully fully healthy. This team could really do good things if CJ Stroud plays what I think he can play like he did his first season. Now moving on to our another headline. Uh, Kevin O'Connell today announced that JJ McCarthy not practiced due to a knee injury, but it should be fine. He said that he'll be ready to go for Friday's preseason game. Just a quick note there for JJ McCarthy going to be out for today's practice due to that injury, but he should be back Friday's preseason game. And then the last one for NFL, we don't have much. We won't have much until 2 weeks from now. Because so next week on the show, I'll say it later, but we'll be talking about more college football. That's probably what the show's gonna be based about next week. But Deshaun Watson named starting QB1. And this had big controversy due to Deshaun coming out and ripping the fans. He was like, yeah, the Cleveland fan. He basically said the Cleveland fans suck. Like he said they suck. Which, to be fair, I mean, if you're getting booed, I would kind of say the same thing too. But also not say it in front of everybody watching in your press conference. But I think this is not because Deshaun's good. We've seen the tape in practice. It's not because he's good. It's because you have to keep him the QB1 because of what you're paying him. If you weren't, then he would be elsewhere. But I do think Shedeur will get to play this season. I say by week 4 or 5, Shedeur will be the QB1 because Deshaun's just not cutting it. Like I think that, like I said, this is just for the contract to just, get it over with, move on, and either keep Shedeur or find another quarterback in the draft next year. You just never know. But the Browns organization right now just keeps taking a tumble. Like it's just never getting better for them, and you just never know what's going to happen with Cleveland. But yeah, I mean, just really sucks for Shedeur. I think he's the better quarterback for sure, but you just will never know until we just see him out there again. Hopefully, he gets his opportunity. I think it will be soon, but yeah, that's all I have today for the NFL news. We did a lot more college football today, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Go enjoy some college football. It's finally back. Go sit on your couch and just sit back, relax, do whatever, watch some college football. Also, maybe watch some NFL preseason on Sunday if you're missing NFL. It's coming back soon, but college football is finally back. I'm so glad that I'm back for you guys. I can't wait to just continue to do this. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, X, just wherever you like your news or just anything in general. But I hope you guys have a great week, great rest of your weekend. We will be back next Wednesday with a new episode of Halftime Sports.